Hello. I'm going to discuss a topic that has been coming up quite frequently for me while on my journey. And since I decided that I would start feeding my dog whole foods, and I just ate a burrito. And the one thing I've noticed is that when I feed my dog and then other people say, she needs this, she needs that, she needs this, and I think to myself, on what terms or understanding do the people who are having input have on their own nutrition, let alone to be projecting it onto me on what I should be feeding my dog or not. I went through a year of analysing what suited her and what didn't for the first 7 years of her life, and as much as I knew at the time as well, she was fed canned food and dry dog biscuits. And from all the research I've done, trialing and erroring with her even as well, the first thing that I noticed with the dog biscuits is that it's mostly cereal, which is derived from corn or wheat. And wheat, as humans, even in women, aging women in the Western society, we go through menopause because gluten and wheat actually causes your tubes to clog up. So menopause is the stopping of period, and it stops everything from flowing through, right? So that also affects us in other areas of body, such as cancer, because ventilation's not happening, the flow through is not happening, many other things, because of our high starch, high corn, everything diet. So processed. So the body in any animal that lives on food needs to be able to ventilate, and also needs clean foods to be able to excrete every single day. So a human actually should go to the toilet after every meal. So if you're eating 3 meals a day, you should be going every single time you eat, because there should be enough fiber content and enough hollowness for everything to be forced out, because you've eaten and then it keeps flowing through. When I was first trialing my dog, within 4 weeks of me doing this experiment, she was fully on cooked veggies and raw meat. So the raw meat I found was better because their digestion takes maybe 3 or 4 days, but because their intestinal tracts are smaller, they have a quicker process of elimination than what a human does. And this is where the vegetarian vegan thing comes in, because humans' intestinal tracts are like however many meters long, a dog's is like half of that. So we're designed for fibrous foods to be going through slowly, or a lot of fibrous foods, so that it fills up quick enough to be able to be eliminated. If you're just eating pieces of meat or high refined foods, there's not enough literally that fills up these tracts to actually reduce and eliminate the waste. So high fibrous foods, which means cruciferous vegetables, this means fruits and vegetables. Basically every fruit and veggie is a fiber, and fiber, people take fiber supplements to help eliminate when they could eat an apple. So anyway, I decided that I was going to do this raw thing with her. After a while, she stopped. She didn't eat any beef. She just didn't want to eat any red meat at all. I fed it to her, and it was a waste, and I spent so much money on feeding her proper good quality meat. She obviously didn't eat dry food anymore because it wasn't giving her any nutrition. She had no hair on her stomach. Her eyes were discoloured. Her eyes whites were really veiny. She looked sick. Her fur wasn't white. It was really discoloured. Her paws, her claws, everything was just, you could just see when someone is malnourished. Most people actually look quite malnourished if they aren't on a raw or a regular fresh fruit and veggie diet, which is what I've come to realise by being this way. She couldn't really walk because she was so swollen and fat, and that's what carbs do. They make you swell up because your body retains too much water and it doesn't know how to mineralize itself. So you become painful, your joints start to hurt. She couldn't jump into the car. She could really hardly walk at all. She couldn't really do much of anything. She had arthritis. There was many things that were going wrong with her. And this is through my own observation. And so I was like, all right. And someone said to me, you know, I reckon she's only got a year to live. And I was like, that's wrong, because she's not old enough to even to die. What has she done in her life that she's, you know, she's not a cattle dog. She's not been running around. She's not exerting herself. And that's literally what it was. She was sad. And she, you know, much like anybody, we just told to eat stuff, and we eat it because of marketing and whatever else. So dogs are the same. Dog food. I would encourage everybody to go and read what is in their dog food. Most of it is cereal. Even the expensive stuff, probably 95% cereal, which is corn, which is wheat. And that's not healthy. It doesn't allow any minerals and anything for the body, for the dog. If your dog's a bit of a spaz, bit of a sluggish, only sleeps like Sophie stays awake most of the day now because we're traveling and she's active and everything like that. It's also got byproducts of cereal, byproducts of meat, and proteins. And the byproducts are hydrolyzed blood, hair protein, all of the grossest shit that you would never feed an animal. And everyone says, I know, dogs go for the off stuff. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's good for them. Most people go and eat Maccas. Doesn't necessarily mean it's good for you. Eating sugar doesn't necessarily mean it's good for you. There's many things that aren't good for us that we choose to eat. So it's my obligation as a dog mom to feed my dog the correct nutrition that it needs. I took a photo yesterday of her eating a bowl of vegetables and pumpkin, potato, and egg, and coconut oil next to a bowl of dry biscuits that we'd also been given. And she will not eat the dry biscuits anymore because she knows they're flavorless. There's nothing to them that she knows doesn't taste good. It's boring. So I got to a point where I was feeding her just chicken breasts, and she would sit there and be really sulky for like an hour or two because her digestion couldn't handle it. It's like she's formed an intolerance to anything from eating something for so long. It's like us when we eventually become intolerant to something. It's because we've had so much of it for so long. Now I can go and have, if I wanted to have milk, I could. If I wanted to have an egg or something like that, or meat or something, if I ate once some of it, I'm sure I would be okay and I wouldn't feel the illness from it, but I probably actually would. But there's things that, even sugar now, I never used to be able to. I was so intolerant to everything because I ate so much of it, and it was relying on me energetically and my adrenals and everything. They needed to have this stimulant all the time. Same as the dog. She couldn't really cope with anything else. Externally, she would react. She'd have lots of rashes all the time. She'd scratch her ears all the time. I worked that one out, was wheat again. So every time or even rice, she can't have any pasta. She gets this infection in her ear. So it's a reoccurring thing that obviously needs to be cleared out. But I haven't gotten to the point where, I haven't fasted her or anything to reset her. But I've found that most people, they know it's truth when I say it, but somewhere within them is shameful about their choices, and therefore they don't want to blame themselves and then push it back onto me. But then I've had it happen to me a few times. A couple of minutes later or so on, then they'll try and justify to me again that they're healthy because they do this and this. And once, a housemate of mine once said to me, he's like, the dog eats healthier than I do. And I'm like, that's not really saying something, because she's a dog and I treat her like a human. She eats what I eat. But if he noticed that, then that's him in denial that he wasn't doing the best that he could. But then on the sly would be feeding her meat and so on, which is fine. Like, I feed her when I get an opportunity. I'll give her some bones, or I'll give her if anyone's got anything, if they want to feed it to her, that's fine, like liver or something like that. But I just don't want to be going for things that aren't nutritious, because she will react to them, because it's happened. She went and ate something that someone gave her once, and she was dragging her bum on the ground, so it gave her worms because it wasn't good quality, right? And she's so clean now inside that she's not needing, like, she can't tolerate it, and neither can I. That's exactly why I went vegetarian, because I could no longer tolerate these things that weren't giving me good hormones, basically. The gut health produces the serotonin. So if there's not something going on right there, every other function in you doesn't work. So I've compiled a list of all the different vitamins that naturally occur in the fruit and veggies that I feed her and myself, and what I would give her in a meal. And then I've compiled a list of what the things are in the dog food that give you no nutrition. So when things clog up from using wheat and corn and stuff, that is cancer. The other is life-giving foods full of minerals and vitamins. That is going to help eliminate everything. It's going to provide colour, nutrition to the skin, to the hair. It's going to grow. You get biotin. It's going to make your nails and hair grow. She's strong now. She has arthritis. We're trying to maintain that. And she's alive. She looks very slim, and everyone says that she's too skinny, but to be honest, everyone's so used to being overweight that they don't actually know what healthiness is and what you're supposed to look like. So this has just been something that's been on my plate for a little bit, and I just want to maybe more make this a clearer message that it's important to look within before you start projecting what you think is right on other people based on what you think you know. Because if you were to look at yourself and then someone like a vegetarian, or, when speaking to me, I'm sitting there thinking, hang on, the colour of your eyes, the quality of your hair, this colour of your skin, you can tell when someone is sick. You can tell if they've got rashes, got irritations, they got sinus, they got hay fever, all this other shit. I don't ever get any of that. And I'm travelling. So it is down to your nutrition to help remineralize the body and to keep its integrity strong so that you can fight off these pathogens. So my dog is therefore a byproduct of what I am.